Hello all, so welcome to the today's tutorial. So today we will continue our investigation in the enhance input. So previously we have covered how to implement the enhance input in the blueprint. In the second we have covered how we can implement in the C++. Today we will deep down inside the modifiers and the triggers. We have already seen how we can apply in the blueprint. Today we will see how we can apply it in the C++. If you haven't watched the series from the start, I will recommend you you can go to the link of the playlist and you can check those videos out. Okay, so let's go through once again what are the triggers and the modifiers, then we will continue our investigation. So modifiers is something like it is the post process you want to do with the values. Let's imagine you are entering, like I am pressing A and I am inputting, let's imagine 1 for it. I want multiplication of 10, like minus 10 to 10, something like that, right? Or I want to uh, you know let's imagine like the value was minus 1 to 1 and I want to clamp it from minus zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.5. I know I can change the modification, but I just want the modifier, like general modifier, which I will use again and again. So I will use the modifier, right? So I can clamp it or something like that. So we will create the multiplier modifier today, and the trigger is let's imagine you want something or some action to happen after some time, like you want trigger to happen not at the exact that time, you want it to happen like sometimes later or something like that. Like we have hold, like you have to keep pressing that button, then it will work or else it won't. Down is when you will press the button, uh, release when you will release the button, and like that. So we will create one trigger, the custom trigger, okay, which will be like double tap, like our button will work when double tap it. Okay, so what you have to do, just go to the C++ classes in the input test. This is the project name, new class. So the first thing I think we will make is the modifier. So input modifier, you can also derive from these classes, but I will go for the base class, the input modifier, and custom input. Okay, so m modifier, I will write this at or something like that, modifier, and I will name it as multiplier. So whatever input we will give, we will multiply it with the multiplier, and we can customize the multiplier. Okay, so give it a second. Okay, okay, the error is there, just remove the folder name and it will go away, and we can again compile, control B, and it will be good this time. Okay, so the next thing is, if you will go to the header files, let me close all these, close other tabs, minimize it. Okay, so this is the CPP file and this is the header file. So the parent class is the input modifier. If you will go inside that pressing control, you can see that we have few functions which we can override, and this is quite important, like modify raw implementation. So this is the current value, and right now in the base class it is just returning that value. So what I will do, I will just override that function. So alt enter, generate code, override methods. This is my usual practice, so I can go through all the list. So these are the override methods which I can do. So there are two variants to it, one is not const and another is constant. I will go with the non-const function. Okay, and alt enter, generate definition. So this is what we have right now. I will just comment that out. So this is first thing. Second thing, in the modifier, it as it is the multiply modifier, we need some variable like which user will input, right? Like uh, so what I will do, public section view property, edit anywhere, and it will be an int type multiplier constant. By default I will keep it as 1, as it won't affect if it is 1, and we can put it any value, and I'm keeping it as int. You can also put it you can also put float to it, so it doesn't matter. So here what I will do, first I will check, like if you will go inside the definition of f input action value, there are four types which we have covered before, like it, whether it can be boolean like true and false. It will be one axis. In the one axis it will be just a float. In the two axis it will be a group of float like 2 x and y, and in the axis 3D it will be the f vector like x comma y comma z. So this we have seen in the first lecture only. So if you haven't watched it, you can watch it. And yep. So first of what we will check the type, like if so current value. So we'll do the switch statement and current value dot get type. So if you will go to the definition of get value type, it is the e input action value type. Let's deep dive in. So these are the four types. So I will do case. If it is a boolean, I don't think we can do much, so I will just return the current value and we won't do anything because we can't, right? It's a boolean. Next is a input type, and if it is axis 1, what I will do, I will just multiply the current value with the multiplier constant. And I will do the same with others too. So case axis 2D and case axis 3D. And here we can actually include the fall through statement. So what does it mean? I'm just saying that you can go to the next, and I'm not returning break because I know we want to run this line. So it will go even if it is 1D, it will go from here to here, here to here, and it will multiply the value and give it to us. So it is just really simple, and let's check if we have done it correct. So control B. I think it will be very small video. Fall through cannot be applied in this context. Okay. Let me read that again. This context. Okay, let's do one thing. Just remove this and control B again. Okay, we have an issue. Okay, so we haven't include the return function. If some issue is there, I will just return the current value. Okay, it should be good now. Come on. Yep. So let's go to the jump function. I don't think we can do much with jump. Let's go to the move one. And here, as we have created one modifier, we can just go and see we have the m modifier multiplier. So just save it, and in the move what we will do, let's go to the third person blueprint, choose this inside here. Okay, we have transferred our code to the C++, so go there. Character m character.cpp. Okay, so in the move, this is there. Okay, so what we will do, I will just print the value of x and y. So ue underscore log temp warning comma text. It will do the float, and the value is vector value dot x. Let's check it with f only, with the x, sorry. So control B again. Okay. Let's check in the output. It is saying -0 and 0. Uh, okay, we haven't entered the modifier, I guess, but it is 1. Like it should have worked. Okay, it is working. -10 and 10. Let's do one more thing. Let's do the multiplier from 50 to 50. It will still work. See? So this is the x, so it is printing from -50 to 50. So now you have the basic understanding of the modifier. You can make it complex as you want to. Let's imagine if you want to, clamp the value, like clamp the higher value to the to some zero or something like that. You can still do it in the input modifier. Uh, like here, uh, what we can actually do. mm, uh, like if it is 1 day, we have 2 day, we have 3 day. Okay, I don't want to go in the complex one, but we can still do. Let me show you how you can do that. Like f input action value temp is equals to current value, and temp dot get value get, and here it will be the type of vector 2D, and get vector 2D, or axis. So the type of was axis 1D. Will it work? Still the same, but I think vector 2D. Okay, it's f vector 2D. My fault. Really sorry. So you can have the value, temp value is equals to this, and you can change it. Like you can, let's imagine the temp value dot x is equals to 5. I'm just changing one value, and what I will do, I will return the temp value. Okay, so what it will give now, it will, like, whatever we will do, the x value will be always 5. So let's try that again. Control B is skipped. Okay, let me check. uh Temp value. Okay, so let's do this. I don't know why we need to do that. Like, it should have worked that way too. Control B. It succeeded. Let's try that again. Let me play left and right. It is still -1550. Am I okay? We have done it inside the axis 1D. So let's do like this. Yep. Control B. See, he's always running right because as soon as I'm clicking the button, it is clamping it to 5. So now you know how you can use the input modifiers. So let me just remove the code. As you know how you can make the thing complex here, but you have the basic understanding how you can use the input modifier. Now the next thing which we will look at is the triggers. I'm just removing it, the modifiers. Okay, Now here comes the triggers. uh so the event, like they're like the event, like if you have done something, like you have pressed the button, like how much time it's been, like since you have pressed the button. Okay, so what we will do, we will like create one custom trigger. We will call it double tap. Like when you will, or like when you will double tap it, then the things will happen, or else not. Okay, so for this, what we will do, okay, open the project again, C++, and the custom input, I will just right click and input uh, trigger. Trigger again, you can, choose these parents if you want to have the functionality of these, but I'm choosing input trigger and it is generalized. So m input trigger underscore, I will call it as double tap or multiple tap, I would say. So we can actually count it, multiple tap. Okay. mm, Create class. Again, it will throw us that old error in which we have to remove the project, sorry, the folder. It's always like this, I don't know why. Okay, so if you will go to the header file, you can check how the input triggers. So it is exactly the same how we were dealing with the input the modifiers. So here, the like the main functionality which we have to use, or the function which we have to use, is the update state implementation. So when you will press the button, or some you will do anything with the with the keys, it will throw this event. So we will override this event. So what I will do, alt enter, generate code, override event, the same drill which we have done before. Go down. So these are the functions which you can overload. So I will use the update. I don't think we want something else. So you can also get the get trigger type implementation. Like we have a few type of implementation, like when it comes to the triggers. Let's cover that too. So the basic are this, like ongoing or the triggered. Like if previously we have covered the hold one, so when we were pressing the button, the ongoing got called, but as soon as the that some time was up, then the trigger happened. So trigger is the event which happens like something is satisfied or the succeeded. Or like ongoing is like you have pressed the button but the success is not done yet. Okay, so but this all we have covered in the previous tutorial. So what I will do, I will again alt enter, generate definition. So let's see what was happening inside the super. I don't think it's been much. Alt enter, update state. Okay. Okay, so what we will do, I will just comment it out, or I will save the value. So e trigger state. So this is the current state. uh, I don't know like whether if it is none or triggered. What I do want is, like, we have the modified value which is the current one, and the previous version is the value which we had before. I think it is the previous value. Previous value, last value. Okay, the name is last value. It is already defined inside the input trigger, which is the parent class, so we can have the access. So let's imagine if some movement has the thing is, this function will get called at every frame. So even if the value hasn't changed, uh, it's not much to do, right? So what we'll do, if the modified value dot get magnitude square is not equals to the value, last value, I think, yes, last value dot get magnitude squared, I will. Okay, so what I'm doing here, the thing is the modified value or the these are the type of the f input action value. And if you will go inside the definition, it can be float, f factor 2D or 3D, but you don't know, right? But we already have a function of get magnitude, so you don't have to care about it. Next is it is squared, so it is like for the if something is getting called like per frame, this is a really good thing to do. If you will calculate the magnitude, it will have to calculate the square root 2. I don't want that. That is why I am using the squared one. See, so this is not the squared one. Okay, if you will, okay, squared one. Yep, yep, yep. So okay, so here you can see in the magnitude it is calculating size, which is getting the squared, which is quite complex in my thinking. So okay, so we just want to know like if the lost value which was there, it is different than the modified value. If it is like that, I will include the count. So we don't have any counter. What I will do, and let me have the private variable uh, tap count current tap counter is equals to 0, and I will increase the current tap counter plus plus, and I will have the public variable public, so you property edit anywhere int tap counter. Mm, and currently I by default I want it to be 1. So and if the current tap counter is equals to the tap counter, we will just fire the like return the you know e trigger state triggered, and we will reset the value. So tap counter is equals to 0. No, the current one, the current tap counter is equals to 0. So the issue with this approach is, let's imagine when we will press the button and when we will release the button, so it will be 2 count. Okay, so what we will do, we will just divide it by 2. So I think it should work. Let's go and compile that again. hmm Okay. Uh, if nothing is happening or we are doing something wrong, we will just return the e trig. Or we will just return the state, because we have, you know, we have cache this value, right? So we will just return it. So control B again. Okay, everything is good. Now what we will do, I don't think we should use the move for it. Just go to the jump in the trigger is plus. Here we have m input trigger multiple taps. I want to have it like at 5 taps. We play 1. Oh fuck, it is working. Why is it working? Okay, let me think. hmm I let me do one thing. None. Okay, control B. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it is working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep. So okay, so if this condition is not met, then I will return okay, I don't want to do anything, and the trigger will not happen. Once it's been met, like the condition is met, then just fire this event and reset everything. So this is one of the type which we can make the input trigger. So there are multiple things with you can do the trigger. Let's imagine you want some ability which needs to be done after holding and tapping some button. So you can make it so complex, but it is on you. So this was the small idea how you can customize the input triggers and the input modifiers. I hope you like this series. I think this will be the end of this in enhanced player input component, which is, I think, like in my understanding, it is quite big, and you can actually make it really really complex, and it's really really nice, because previous input implementation was good and simple, but uh, it was like binding, and it was having very few functionalities. Right now it is quite big. So this was it from me. If you like the tutorial, just like and subscribe, and you can comment me below like on which topic you want to have the videos, and I will try my best to cover that topic. Thank you and have a nice day.